We are back on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio Newstalk 1180. Our in-studio guests are Ted Fowler and Michael Bowers talking about redistricting in California. Clay.
Michael, you always make the best comments when we're off the air. So you were talking about politics in Kern County and how it impacts redistricting, or how redistricting will impact politics in Kern County. So tell other people what you told us.
Well, when you look at it and you analyze it, what Kern County politics could essentially end up looking like is that you have Kevin McCarthy's district, 22nd congressional district, pushed up to Tulare County, and he's running against Devin Nunes. Then you could probably potentially have Jean Fuller running against Connie Conway, or her district pushed up there. So, it doesn't take a NASA scientist to really look at this and analyze it and say, this is a way to wipe out Republicans in their way, make it competitive.
Okay, now, Michael, question for you on that. When I was looking on the website, it said that when they actually come to making the map, it's got to be a 3-3-3 decision, which means 3 Democrats have to okay it, 3 Republicans, and 3 of the declared estate or undeclared estate. So is that going to guarantee some kind of impartiality there?
I don't think so.
Not when you look at the makeup of the Republicans that are on the committee. And then when you look at the independents or the declined estate, they're all lean to the left.
Okay. Far
left.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what do you see happening with this? What do you think the next step's going to be?
I think the next step, what they said, they'll come to us in, I believe, another month or so and let us know what they've essentially proposed. Then after that, by August, they should be making their decision on what these districts are going to look like. And I believe that this next meeting that they are going to have, which they specifically said it might not be in Bakersfield, but it may be in our region, we need to show up and we need to get our voice out, and we need to say what we need to say, small or large. We need to come out, Republican, Tea Party, whatever, and we need to really voice our opinion and voice our concerns, because these districts are going to essentially run Republicans, or put Republicans against each other and run the Republicans out of office.
Well, the way they changed how the votes are going to be taken next year, where the two top candidates are able to run regardless of what party you're in, as you're alluding to, is going to impact that. What I see happening is the Democrats are going to take 2/3 of both parties and have the government and every other leading position in the state of California. The Republicans might as well move out of the state. Mm-hmm. It's going to go bankrupt anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ted,
the small businessman is really the one that's going to get hurt here, mm-hmm. because if without conservative representation, the small businessman in California really is a big disadvantage. I've been in business since I can't figure, all the way back to 67 or 76. 1976 is when I first bought my first business, and I've been in business in this state ever since. And I've seen the opportunities for small business just dwindle and dwindle. I don't know of anybody right now that I know of is wanting to start a new small business. There's been some sales of small businesses from one party to another, but starting a new small business in this state is just about impossible.
Oh, you bet.
Let me give you an example, Ted, of a small business in your area, Tehachapi, that right now would like to stay in Tehachapi is Icon Aircraft. I'm one of the few people that's purchased an airplane from them, and they're going to be moving to New Mexico because they cannot live with the regulations and the taxes in California.
My point exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and everybody's tried to get them to stay. There's been a massive effort for that.
We've been up there as citizens. Gene Fuller's been up there. Kevin McCarthy's been up there. Several other legislators. We just can't get the government to change rules and regulations.
Well, as a businessman, you have to look at the bottom line. And when the cost of meeting all of the regulations that are put in front of you far outweigh your opportunity to go to another state, you've got to make that move. As a businessman, you just can't afford to do it. I like California as much as anybody. I was raised here. I've always considered myself a loyal Californian. But if I was going to start a new business today, I don't think I could do it in the state of California.
If I didn't have grandkids here and kids here, I'd be long gone. Michael.
when you look at it, last year we lost 6,000 manufacturing jobs. One of the biggest aerospace energy companies is going back east. You've got neighboring states that are offering our businesses lucrative packages to come, and they're going to make a lot of money and save a lot of money. The regulations become extremely arduous, even more in California. How do we fix California problem is that we take these preposterous regulations off businesses, we stop trying to socialize businesses and let government come in and take over businesses, and we let businesses do what they do, be a business and operate as a business and make money and make profits and not try to control it.
We're having a conversation with Ted Fowler and Michael Bauer talking about redistricting in California. You know, I came into this meeting today feeling pretty good. You know, I had a great weekend planned. It's Mother's Day, but listening to the three of you, I think it's about over. What do you guys think? Is California in that bad of a state, Michael?
No, California's not that bad of a state. It's a great place to live.
I like it
if you
here.
can afford it.
Yeah, if you can afford it.
And that's
sure.
the question mark. Look at the budget we have.
Yeah, Ted?
How's that country song go? It says, I can't afford the sunshine anymore. It's getting to that point.
But redistricting is going to have a real impact on our future in California, and we just cannot afford to continue to have the districts set up the way they are currently.
Well, yeah, we can't afford the gerrymandering. There's no question about
That's what I
that.
meant,
It's ridiculous.
gerrymandering.
Yeah. But, you know, Ted, you made a great point earlier before we were on the air.
The point I was trying to make earlier is what this legislation, the intent of this legislation originally was to end gerrymandering.
Right.
And that's why I was so excited about it, because I felt that was one of the weak spots in our political system. But what it's done, it's taken gerrymandering out of the hands of the politicians and putting it in the hands of the special interest groups. So we're just trading one for the other.
Okay. Now, Michael, question for you, because you're going into the law, you know, and, you know, I hate to say you're going to be an attorney because you're such a nice person, and, you know, that'll probably change. But anyways, what's the procedure now? Okay, from here we go to the regional meetings with the redistricting commission, but what happens after the regional meetings? They come out in August, you said, with the map?
Roughly mid-August, they come out with the maps of what they're going to look like, what the political landscape is going to look like for California. I believe the 9 regions for California that they're going to be working
for the
on.
next 10 years.
For the next 10 years,
okay.
for the next decade.
So let's say, big surprise, people like the four of us don't like what they've come up with.
Yeah.
Okay? What's our next step after that? What can we do, if anything?
Our next step after that is to contact our political people that are in our district. We need to support, give them money. This is going to end up probably being a legal battle. So we need to give money. We need to support the PACs that they tell us to support that are going to be fighting this legally. And we need to get involved, and we need to show up when they tell us to show up. We need to give when they tell us to give, and we need to follow their direction on it.
The other alternative is to sell your business and join the other party.
You know, Ted, I got to tell you, Clay takes a nap about midway through the show, and when he wakes up, you never know what he's going to say.
Is that what happened?
No, it's unfortunate that what we're looking at, and there's got to be a way where people can think for themselves and do things that benefit everyone rather than one side or the other side. And unfortunately, we don't have that in any part of government, either local government, state government, or federal government.
Well, okay, I'm going to disagree with that a little bit. I mean, you know, you and I both came from L.A., not originally, but I mean for a good part of our life. And I love Kern County when it comes to the politics here. It reminds me a lot of what Orange County used to be 20 years ago. And now Orange County, you know, since the base is closed and everything has changed. But Kern County, I like our local government. I like our representation here. But we're kind of like an island in a liberal sea. And it's funny, a lot of people in Kern County don't realize what the rest of the state looks like until they walk out of the county and all of a sudden they're exposed to what's going on out there. But, you know, Shannon Grove is a good example. You know, she got to Sacramento and went, what the heck is going on up here?
I stand by what I said. It's just in Kern County, it's just the opposite of what it is in the rest of the state.
Okay. That's what you were trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Kern County is an island in the middle of a sea of relativity, unfortunately. Well, that is it for today. Ted, I want to thank you for one other thing. I want to thank you and Michael for being here, but I want to thank you for your service. You and I were both in the Marine Corps once upon a time, and I want to thank you for that. And Oh, Clay was in the Army. Okay.
Lieutenant Kerner.
Okay. Yep. And tonight we have the Bakersfield Jazz Festival in town. And have a happy Mother's Day, everybody. And we'll see you in 167 hours on Taking Care of Business on Kern Radio Newstalk 1180.